this webinar, how to get great endorsements, and not just any endorsement, but great endorsements that get more sales. In this training, we're going to talk about what makes a great endorsement for your book or another product. And what will that do for you? Increase sales. And of course, that's what you want. I know you want it because of all the time you've invested in your product to be impactful for your reader. I just need to tell you that although I'm mostly speaking about book endorsements, this training could be for any product that you're seeking an endorsement for. Now, is this webinar going to be worth the time that you spend watching it? It depends on who you are. If you're an author who has written a book and you don't know what to do next, or you'd like to write a book and want to know more about getting it out into your market, you're in the right place. If you're thinking about writing a book and you're gathering information for when you're ready, this is for you. If you have a product that's not a book but would like to know more about how to get a great endorsement, this is for you. If you're just surfing the web and not serious, this is probably not for you. This webinar will only be about 30 minutes, but it will be a jam-packed 30 minutes full of actionable content. And I just want to let you know that I have a really cool surprise that I think you're really going to love if you stick around to the end. So stay till the end of the training and I'll let you know about the surprise. Okay, do you believe that good endorsements are precious? They can convert book sales like no other when they're combined with other marketing strategies. I want to share with you something that happened recently. I was talking to my sister and asked her what she was doing this coming weekend. She said she was going to the movie. I said, "Yeah? What are you going to see?" She answered, "The Greatest Showman." I said, "Oh, I heard that's really good. I want to see it." Now, mind you, I knew absolutely nothing about the movie. I didn't know what it was about. I hadn't even watched the trailer. But that was my comment. Why? Because I saw someone on social media say that it was really good and you need to see it. What? I can't even remember who said it. What's worse is that I figured out it hadn't even been released yet when I first read that. I was convinced that it was a great movie based on what someone said who I didn't even know. And that's what an endorsement will do for you. I remember when Cinderella came out in the movies. I heard everyone talking favorably about it. I heard it was filmed using actors instead of cartoon characters. There was a lot of buzz about it. I felt like I was the only one who hadn't seen it, and I liked and trusted those friends who were talking about it. Now, I'm not even a big Cinderella fan, and it still made me want to see the movie. I saw written endorsements from people who said, "Best Cinderella movie ever," and wonderfully and thoughtfully done, and intelligently interpreted. It helped to seal the deal for me. I went to see the movie. Will endorsements be helpful for selling your book? Yes, they will be. We all know the effects of peer pressure on what we do, and endorsements are very similar. We want to know if someone else found a book or product helpful before we buy it. And just as important, if many people like it, we want to be part of that group and not be left out of something that might be life-changing. Let me just take a minute or two to tell you who I am. I'm Lori Donahue, and I have both sought endorsements for myself and I've written endorsements for others. I have been an author and a publisher for 23 years, and it began about 30 years ago. Yes, 30 years. My first children's picture book was published by a traditional publisher. It was just a few years later that I saw a need in our family for a book, and I looked extensively, and I couldn't find the book that answered the need. So I and another person got to work, and we wrote it. Others heard of it and requested it as well. It never occurred to me that it was too niche for a publisher to want it. I had had a book published already, so I thought it would be a piece of cake to get this one published. Well, I was wrong. I sought multiple publishers of this genre, and I couldn't find anyone interested in my book because of the small group of people that might purchase it. So I formatted it and printed copies from that high-end publisher, Home Depot. I ended up selling about 3,000 books before I decided that if I couldn't find a publisher, I would figure out how to publish it myself. So I set out on a journey of learning. I went to the library, I purchased books, I paid for several years of mentoring. I got a great education. It cost me a lot, but that was the beginning. Since then, I've published more of my own books and published for others as well. I've published both print and hardcover and softcover. I have published digital for Kindle as well as EPUB for many other platforms, and I've published print on demand. I've learned the ropes of the ever-changing publishing arena, and I mean ever-changing. I've published under the old school environment and the publishing arena now. I know the transition well. In the meantime, I've had a book sell 50,000 copies. But something that has not changed is the need for endorsements. That's because our need as humans to be either like others or not to be left out from the crowd has not changed. Our desire to know what others think before we make a decision has not changed. Our desire to not make a mistake that will make others look down on us has not changed. And now I want to bring that knowledge to you. This knowledge that took me 30 years to learn, I'm putting into a format that you can learn quickly and at your own pace. I want to come alongside of you and anyone who wants to learn the ropes of publishing. Having taught pretty much all my life, I have a community college credential, and I have taught in colleges, seminars, conferences, and children's programs. So that's who I am, and that's why I put this course together. I want to help you in your endeavors. But let's get back to endorsements. If you want to get the most out of this, be sure to turn off your email notifications, your chat, anything that might distract you, and give your full attention to this training. Turn off your phone so you won't be interrupted. The next part is less than 10 minutes, and I'm going to go over as much information as I can in that time about what makes an endorsement great. This webinar is completely free, and at the end of the webinar, I'm going to give you information for another free opportunity that I'll be hosting this week. I will also be giving you information on how you can continue to work with me more in the future if you would like. So, what do you do before you buy a book? You probably pick up a book, you look at the cover, you turn it over and look at the back cover, you look at the summary, and you look to see if there's an endorsement on the cover anywhere. Then you open the book and look to see others who have endorsed it. You want to know their qualifications. You want to know if the endorser is someone who thinks like you. You might want to know where they got their education. You might want to know what organizations they are a part of. This all helps you know if you might like this book or product. We want someone to verify that if we buy this book, we are not making a mistake. The endorsements and the testimonies are super, super important. But what should the content of the endorsement be? Is that important? Yes, it is. Did you know that what the endorser says can help you sell books? Let me tell you a word about endorsers. They are very busy people. Sometimes they might agree to endorse your book, but they don't put a ton of time into thinking about what they want to say. Did you know that you can influence what they say? Absolutely. You can guide the endorsement in a very powerful way. You never tell the endorser what to say, but you can get the exact endorsement you want with just a little bit of strategy. But what turns a really good endorsement into a great endorsement? This is what I'm going to give you today. This training will show you the difference between a good endorsement and a great endorsement. This training is part of a bigger course, but you're getting it today completely free of charge. So here it is, how to get great endorsements that sell. Be sure to stick around because after this section, I have a few more words about endorsements for you. Hi, welcome to the course, How to Get Great Endorsements. I'm Lori Donahue, and I am glad to be here, and I'm glad you're here. And together we can unlock the mysteries of how do you get great endorsements for your book. Are endorsements and testimonials important? I suspect that you probably know the answer to that already, but I just want to ask you a question. What was the last movie that you were just dying to see? You were so anxious to see it. It was not the weekend, and you just couldn't wait for the weekend because you wanted to see the movie. Why do you think you wanted to see it so badly? And I suspect it might have to do with somebody told you that the movie was really good, or you were with a group of people who were talking about the movie, and you didn't want to be the only one left out to not see the movie. So Word of mouth is one of the greatest marketing techniques or tactics that of all marketing, word of mouth. And that's what an endorsement is. Someone is making a favorable comment about your book, and it will encourage others to pick up the book and read it as well. Are endorsements and testimonials important? Yes, yes, and yes. Potential buyers want to know that others have found your book helpful, enjoyable, entertaining, or educational. All right, I want to talk for just a minute about the concept of benefit or transformation. Which of these makes a stronger endorsement? I'm sure you've heard it said that people need to know the benefits of your book, and that's absolutely true. That is for sure. Okay, which is better, benefit or transformation? What is a benefit? A benefit is something that will help the reader in some way. It's a benefit to the reader, and that's really good. We want to know what the benefits are of your book. But if we go a step further and look at those benefits, how they will transform the reader, that is even stronger. So transformation is how the person is changed by your book. Let's look at some examples. Okay, let's look first of all if it tells me about, that would be an educational book. And let's use an example of maybe a cookbook. Let's say you've written a cookbook that is an Italian cookbook, and you have a recipe in it for lasagna and another one for an incredible Italian salad. So the benefit would be this book tells me how to make a lasagna and a salad, and it will be very, very yummy. Okay, what is transformation? Transformation is I will be able to do something. I will be able to wow my family with this incredible Italian dinner that is the best Italian dinner in all of the world, including Italy. Okay, I'm taking this over the top a little bit, but you see the transformation. It's what you will be able to do. The benefit is what the book is and what it's good for. The transformation is how will I be changed. Okay, let's use another an educational book. Let's say it's a book on underwater sea life, maybe all the different animals or the killer whale. So if you learn about the killer whale, that's really, really wonderful. I don't know very much about the killer whale, and I think that it would be a big benefit to know about the killer whale. The transformation would carry that a step further is now I know about the killer whale. I am inspired to be or do something different. What might I be inspired? I might be a killer whale advocate now. I might belong to the Save the Whale organization. I might step up to the plate and do something for those whales that might be endangered. I don't know if the killer whale's endangered or not, but I should read the book and find out. Another example might be, I enjoyed this book. I enjoyed reading. It might be a novel, and it was just a delightful read. And that's wonderful. We need books, and that's a wonderful benefit of a book. But if your book takes that enjoyment and takes it a step further and says, I now have hope. I have hope that my life will be different. I have hope and a dream that I can go the same place that those characters in the book went. If it gives me hope that lasts beyond reading the book, that is a transformation, and that's what we want to hear about your book. It was an easy read. Okay, that is a great thing for somebody who's a slow reader. I love easy to read books because I can read them in a shorter period of time, and it's very enjoyable to read a book in an evening. So an easy to read book is really, really great. But transformation would be the easy reading made me learn and apply the material quickly. The word apply means there's application. I can do something more quickly because I read that book. That is the transformation. So I hope you get an idea. This is what we're talking about, the difference between benefit and transformation. Now, we want your endorsers to be able to show transformation for themselves and for the reader. And In this course, we're going to show you how to guide the endorser to get the kind of endorsement that is going to be strong and effective and bold for your book. So we'll be discussing all of these points as the time goes on. We will talk about how you can guide your endorser to write a book showing how your book was transformative, and that will be a wonderful endorsement. Okay, when do I get an endorsement? That's a very, very good question, because some people want to get the endorsement before the book is done, and I am recommending that's not a good idea. You should get the endorsement at the end when the book is very, very close to finished, if not finished, because you want the endorser to see the best possible copy example of your book. So before your book goes to press, but as soon as you can. So when you have all of everything put together the way you want it put together and ready to go to press, then you seek the endorsement. However, that means that it might be a month or so, possibly 2 months, before you actually are able to go to the printer. So plan ahead, plan for that time in between when your book is finished and you send your book to the printer. So you'll need to do a few things, and you can start some of the early planning at any time. So I am going to go through next session about the first thing that you'll do getting ready to seek the endorsement, and that is prepare your lists. You will make a couple of lists, and these lists are the potential endorsers that you're going to contact and ask them if they may be able to do an endorsement for you. Of course, that's not what you say. Don't stop here and take that advice, because that's not the advice I give in this course. But you will prepare your list, and I'm going to guide you through preparing your list, and we're going to do that in the next session. So I look forward to seeing you then, and we will be back and we will prepare your lists together. I'm back. How did you like it? Was it helpful? Let me let you in on something. While this training was all about great endorsements, you can use this principle in all aspects of life. You can use it anytime you want to influence anyone. You can use it in teaching to motivate students. You can use it in your parenting. You can even use it to show your spouse a new way of looking at something. So this training has had influence much farther than just getting endorsements. But we're here talking about endorsements for books or products. So any book can cause transformation of some sort. So when you have a book or a product that serves to educate, inspire, entertain, or facilitate growth in some way, our ultimate goal as creators of that book is to see some sort of transformation of the reader. Here are a couple of endorsement excerpts that I recently received by using some of the strategy that I've developed. And no, I didn't tell them what to say. Lori has a thorough professional knowledge of the publishing field, and she is able to translate that knowledge into action. Her vision for what my written materials could become was not only an encouragement to me, but it became a tangible reality when placed in her hands. That was Judy Gary. Here's another one. Lori was very dependable, and I was impressed with her thoroughness and knowledge. She was so helpful to me and my writing career, and I think Lori's publishing of my book was just the boost I needed. Dr. Dan Nelson. And you can get endorsements like this too. I don't want to keep you on this webinar rambling for a long time. I've been on some that were an hour and a half. I know you have important things to do. I just wanted to give you a little something today that will boost your enthusiasm and the direction in your book writing process. No pressure here, but I want to make you aware of an opportunity. This webinar was one out of 8 sessions, some shorter and some longer, that describe in detail the steps that you can take to get great endorsements. I think you can see how important it is, but most stab in the dark to try to get those stellar endorsements. It's even possible that the endorser could be chased away. In the full training, I go into detail who to send your request to, how to approach them, how to guide them strategically in what to say, and best practices of how to follow up with them so they're happy to write for you again next time. There will be a button below that you can click in order to get more information on the complete course. But remember, I promised you a surprise for those who stayed till the end of the webinar. And I'm going to tell you now exactly what it is. I am sure you have questions, and I want to answer your questions. So I have set up a separate online meeting room where we can interact. I'm going to hop on a 30-minute video call with you and maybe a few others to answer your questions. It will be next Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'll email you information that you need. You just need an internet connection and a computer. And if it's not available, you can even use your phone for the phone call. You will see me live and you'll have your choice as to whether I can see you or not. It will be a lot of fun. I'll record our meetings so you can watch it at a later date, or if you can't be there, you'll still be able to see it. If you would like to send questions in advance, that will be great as well. I will try to get to all of them, but as time permits, if I can't, they will still be answered. I will send you an email with a form for questions as well after this webinar. Well, I hope this webinar has been helpful to you and brought you a little closer to seeing a published book where you'd like it to be. I really look forward to talking to you at the Friday Q&A. You'll be getting some follow-up emails to give you the information that you need for that Q&A meeting and for other opportunities if you are interested. And don't forget to click the button below for more information on the full training of how to get great endorsements and sell more books. The full training has more fun bonuses that I think you will love. So thanks so much. I will talk to you soon. I look forward to talking to you on Friday.